Every morning before going to work, I visit with my horse. For the past 20 years, I've been around all walks of life, and the majority of animals who've come into my path have been rescues. The one thing I've learned is that every creature who has turned their tragedy into triumph is a treasure who's walked an incredible journey of hope, faith, and courage, and with this comes great wisdom. Knowing these animals and watching them transform into loving best friends has inspired me to believe that anything is possible. In just a few moments, we will be meeting some rescued animals who have made it into loving homes, as well as introducing you to some of the animals I've worked with and showing you how I've helped them reach their potential.
I'm Allison, this is Sully, and we welcome you to Sensational Shelter Animals.
You were lost in the city when I finally came. You were standing with strangers when I called your name, and I called to your heart just as loud as a train. 'Cause whenever you're lonely, I feel the same. And I love you forever, and it's hard to explain. Long before Cain and Abel, when God made the rain, yes, I love you forever. From the moment time began, 'cause my soul roamed the earth, from the sea to the land. Girl, I love you forever, both wild and tame, with a love all in nature, so unashamed.
Before we meet our special guest stars, I would like to introduce you to someone very special. I met Forrest when I was working as an adoption counselor many years ago while going to college. The shelter did not think he was going to live very long because before being rescued by the shelter, he was tied to a doghouse for 5 years and had heartworm for 2 years that had been left untreated. Forrest got treatment and exceeded their expectations. Forrest was my best friend and one of the most important creatures I've ever really met. He was very active through most of his life, but as he started to get older, I noticed he was starting to face the signs of aging. I started researching different ways to improve his health and found canine massage therapy. I noticed that he felt better from the massage, and it really gave him the added comfort that he needed as he was reaching the end of his life. Forrest passed away several years ago at the age of 17.
My wonderful friend Brian. I met Brian back in November of 2010. When I first met Brian, he was very timid and shy due to being tied to a doghouse for the majority of his life, and before he was rescued by Family Dogs New Life Shelter. When I met Brian, I knew that inside that shy spirit was just a wonderful best friend, and so every week I would come and donate a walk and a massage. And in as little as 6 weeks, I watched him transform from being very timid and shy to being a wonderful, loving, fun best friend. And Brian is what inspired me to open up a canine massage therapy practice that specializes in the care of shelter and rescue animals.
Hi, I'm Peggy. And Brian here, we adopted from the shelter a while ago. We went to the shelter to see him because we had fallen in love with his picture on the website. And when we got him, he was a little bit shy, but we knew that he'd become a wonderful companion and just the most charming dog we'd ever seen. And sure enough, he did. He's a wonderful, lovable dog, and we have nothing but enjoyment from him. We are so glad we got him.
Family Dogs New Life Shelter is a very unique and special place because in addition to the wonderful care that is given to the dogs, this particular shelter gives second chances to deserving canine companions that are looking forward to a new life. Every week I come and I donate a walk and a massage to a particular dog at the shelter in efforts to help shy and nervous dogs break out of their shell to help them get homes at a faster rate. Watching the dogs transform from when I start working with them to the time that they're ready for adoption is really a joyful experience. For the past few months, I've been working with Bosco, a young pit bull, and before being rescued, he was tied to a doghouse for the first 6 months of his life. Being treated in this manner can have a detrimental effect on both their physical and emotional health. When I first started working with Bosco, I noticed that he had to rest a lot during walks, and one of the additional concerns was that he was nervous around strangers. In the time we spent together, I noticed that his endurance has increased and he's definitely more relaxed. He's been an absolute delight. He's a joy to be around. He's been the highlight of my week for the past few months, and I feel pretty confident that there's a family or special person just waiting for him.
My name is Ronnie.
I'm Rochelle.
And this is Diesel. Diesel was rescued at about 4 months old. When we got him, he was kind of abused and not taken care of very well. He had no weight on him. He had mites, he had fleas, and the mites almost took his life. So it took a lot of time, a lot of patience, a lot of trips to the vet to actually get him back into shape and get him to how he is today. Diesel's been part of my family for 5 years, ever since he was a baby. I don't have children, so he is my son. He's helped me get through a lot of hard times. He's been there when I really needed him the most. He's very active, healthy, well-being dog, but now he has a pretty bad case of separation anxiety.
When we leave him, he pants and hyperventilates and he drools all over the place, so we want to get to a point where we could just leave him without feeling guilty and without him over-exerting himself.
In the time I've met Diesel, I can tell that he's an integral part of his family, and I'm really looking forward to giving him the peace and comfort that he's been searching for. Stress is a normal physiological response that is brought on by both physical and chemical reactions within the body. The purpose of stress is to provide protection when the body senses danger. While a certain amount of stress is healthy in that it allows for survival, stress becomes a concern once it becomes chronic. Both genetics and environment play a large part of stress response in individuals today. Some individuals naturally have more neurotransmitters that are related to stress responses within the body. Like a light switch, the mechanism of stress response takes place when neural inputs of the sympathetic nervous system stimulate the hypothalamus of the brain, which is connected to the pituitary of the brain. CRH, otherwise known as corticotropin-releasing hormone, is released from the hypothalamus. CRH is the very first hormone and necessary for the stress response to begin. It then signals and instructs the pituitary to release ACTH, or adrenocorticotropic hormone. ACTH now signals the adrenal gland, which activates secretion of cortisol. In the very same moment, neurons from the hypothalamus release epinephrine and norepinephrine from the adrenal medulla, which causes a heightened sense of awareness. Relaxation response is essential for healing individuals who suffer from chronic stress. While massage therapy is not a replacement for veterinary care, it can be a wonderful tool in bringing comfort to those in need. While Diesel is in my care, he will be receiving massage therapy that is designed for individuals who are prone to chronic stress. Individuals who suffer from chronic stress tend to have a higher level of physiological activity with very sensitive nerve endings. Gentle massage is very beneficial and soothing to those who suffer from chronic stress. While there will be a variety of techniques that Diesel will be receiving, effleurage is my first technique of choice because it's very effective in caring for anxious individuals. It is also a technique that is used in home care between massages. This technique works to regulate the autonomic system by reducing the amount of neural stimulation that initiates stress response. When this occurs, stress hormones are reduced and relaxation response begins. This promotes deeper breathing, a more relaxed heartbeat, and an increased range of motion as well as a sense of well-being.
Okay, this is our fourth visit here with Allison, and he's come a really long way from when Allison and Diesel first met. We just left him about 3 hours, 3.5 hours the other day all alone, and instead of panting and creating a big storm or a big deal about us leaving, he was actually okay. We got some footage of him in the room. He's calmed down a lot. He's not so anxious when we grab our keys or we go to leave to the door. I'm really floored by the results that we've seen so far, and I'm sure with more time he will come around to the point where he's going to be totally comfortable with us leaving him alone.
Hello, I'm Jason. This is Jill. This is Riker. Used to be Tatara. We adopted him at Family Dog's New Life Shelter. And he is one of the greatest dogs
Ever.
We take him pretty much everywhere, camping, hiking, running. We just love him.
I knew Riker when he was Tatara. I worked with him at Family Dog's New Life Shelter, and I was really hoping that he would find a good home, and he did. I can tell he's just a very happy dog.
We thank you for watching Sensational Shelter Animals, and we'll see you real soon.
Sensational Shelter Animals was brought to you by Four-Legged Family Massage Services, LLC. Four-Legged Family Massage Services, LLC is not a nonprofit agency. It is a business and a practice that believes in community welfare, helping others, and second chances. Our mission is to not only educate the public on shelter animals, but give shelter and rescue animals the visibility and added comfort that they deserve. If you have a shelter pet who would benefit from being on the show or an inspirational story on a shelter animal that you have adopted, we would love to hear from you. To contact the show, you may reach us at sullyhorse@rocketmail.com. We thank each and every one of you for watching, and we hope to see you real soon.
If you love me, I'll be waiting at home. And if you don't leave me on. If you want me, tell me. I need to know. But if you love me, don't let me go. I'm just a simple man, I'm really no mystery. What you see is just what I am. I make my way in